Well, as an institution, as a school, I think that forensics has meant almost everything to the school. We like to talk about signature program, and I think when you look at that and you look at our signature programs, there's one program that stands above all others: forensics. When you talk about the forensics team at Holy Ghost Prep, we can't not talk about John Buettler and Tony Figliola. And so John was the foundation. He was the rock upon which we built forensics at Holy Ghost Prep.
John's counseling, his advice, his kindness to us as we were growing up was instrumental in giving us a wonderful learning environment and allowing us to grow, not just as students, but I think ultimately as men.
The chief architect of everything that went above that foundation was Tony Figliola. For the next 30 plus years, he built it into a powerhouse nationally, unlike any other program in the United States.
Tony, who followed hard on his heels, vindicated all the confidence that the school had in asking him to be John's successor. But more directly, Tony brought professionalism and talent to the level of outstanding competition.
I think in a certain sense, at the very beginning of it all, my thought was simply, this is a lot of fun. Did I think it would last 50 years? I didn't know. I didn't even think out that far. It wasn't even on the radar screen. And gradually, as I learned about everything, I began to realize how good this is for kids. And so I wanted to achieve excellence. I've said that all along.
I didn't care if you were smart or not that smart, if you were, classy or not classy. If you wanted to join, I was going to help you find the right event where you could be you and excel at being you.
It started out as this very small local phenomenon and grew into a state phenomenon, and gradually a national phenomenon was carried even further.
I learned the technique of it all by watching Holy Ghost people. Dan Polsenberg, Kevin McPhillips, Jim McCrane, others, but especially Dan. So when John called me to come here to replace him, I didn't know what I was doing, and I just said okay. And I just felt so at home, and I just felt like something, God, Jesus, John Buettler, close to God, part of the Trinity, just wanted me to come here. We learn from each other. I have learned a lot from John. John has learned some of the new techniques because forensics evolves. It's like skin. Every 7 years, it changes. And, we have to keep up. If we don't keep up, the kids don't keep up.
It's important to tell the story of how forensics has helped to shape, so many really wonderful men.
A really important lesson to be learned from my experience and others who have used the teaching of presence, right? That's what forensics gives you. It gives you the ability to be confident and to walk into a room and be the presence that everyone wants to talk to.
To be in forensics at Holy Ghost Prep was to lay a foundation that truly has made me the professional and the man I am today. Certainly it has made me the priest I am today. I cannot imagine what life would be like had I not met John Buettler, had I not met Tony Figliola.
Tony Figliola had such a huge impact on more people than I think anyone, even he, realizes. Tony Figliola gave me the confidence to be able to do anything.
The lesson that I learned the most from Tony is understanding to go to people where they are and then bring them where you want them to be.
Tony, congratulations on a retirement. Heartfelt thanks from everybody, especially the Frawley family, for everything you have done for us. We are going to take this forever. We appreciate you. We'll say it as many times as you'll listen to hear it. Thank you for everything, and best of luck on retirement.
So Tony Figliola, I have known you since I was 14 years old, and you changed my life. Every day that I am working here at Holy Ghost Prep, I'm reminded of the skills that you taught me And the reason that I am successful in my job today is because of you. So you are my friend, you are my mentor, I love you, and I am very happy that you will be going off into your retirement to do all sorts of creative, well-dressed things.
Tony, you put in a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of success. You should be proud. John, same thing. You helped shape young men's lives, and they are forever grateful for it. And for both of you, I hope you will have long and happy retirements. But you know, they talk about coming into this world and making a difference. The two of you have made a difference.
Anybody who knows him realized that that book, The Giving Tree, was really written about Tony. Tony's a guy who's given everything that he's had, his time, his effort, his health, to other people. He gave away his branches, gave away his trunk. And even though now he might be sitting there and he's just a little stump, still begging people to come by and sit on him and take a rest, there's nobody that I've really known in my life who's just been able to give continuously at such high levels as Tony.
Could not have gotten to this day without the hard work, the dedication, and the commitment to excellence that both John Buettler and to Tony Figliola have demonstrated over this past 50 years.
I'd like to give a special thanks first to my friendly competitor, Tony Figliola. Tony, you've done a remarkable job here at the Holy Ghost Prep Forensics Program. My hat is off to you, even though I don't wear hats, and I know you do. And then to my mentor, John Buettler. There has been no teacher in my entire academic career who has had a bigger impact on my life than you. And from the bottom of my heart, I have to say thank you for everything that you've done to make me the man I am today.
Tony, thank you so much for everything that you have done for me, my family, and everybody else that went to Holy Ghost or was involved in forensics across the country that you coached. You deserve the greatest retirement in the world.
With 50 years, kind of under our belt, and 50 years of alum, we're in a position now where we can ensure that it survives and thrives because we're all here now to support it.
I think the future of forensics at Holy Ghost is extremely important. I think it's a keystone program that has really become a symbol of Holy Ghost and the Holy Ghost student body over the years.
This has made a massive impact on my life, my brother's life, both of my brothers, my whole family's life. And I think it's extremely important for anybody else who wants that opportunity to have this opportunity.
Nobody really understands the amount of commitment it takes to be excellent in forensics. My hope for the program is that we're able to provide those resources to make sure that the excellence continues.
It's remarkable when you think back on the last 50 years of Holy Ghost Prep. The impact that forensics has had on us. The impact that the past has prepared us for what we do today. Our commitment to what John Buettler, to what Tony Figliola helped build at Holy Ghost Prep, the forensics program.
We actually had 2 national champions at the same time, and they were our first 2. And that put us in the top, 5 or 10 nationally. And when we came home in that rat trap of a blue van, because we drove to Milwaukee, we come back up to the school, to the driveway, and lining the driveway are our families, and they're holding banners and signs welcoming us all home. And I don't think I'll ever forget that.
There's absolutely nothing that was more entertaining than traveling with Tony Figliola. The experiences that I had where we were thrown out of restaurants, where he ran through the student union building at St. Joseph's University to find the men's room. There was a time he ate hot peppers that were not meant to be consumed by humans and then ran through a mall at Harvard University screaming for help while Jerry Colpinto ordered us to ignore him. Those are probably the experiences that I enjoyed the most, that I remember the most.
There were just tremendous memories. When we'd go to State College, where the state championship was every year, depending on our success, we'd always go out to dinner at Bowlesburg Steakhouse or at Susie Wong's. I think that was the name of it.
I remember being chained to a fence in North Carolina so that I could understand what a prisoner of war was like, which didn't really make me understand what a prisoner of war was like, but 10 o'clock at night we were chained to a fence and the police came up, and that was interesting. Very, very interesting.
We were all staying in the hotel, and there was a wedding reception going on in the ballroom downstairs, and the upperclassmen decided to don their suits and crash the wedding reception, and I did that as a freshman, and I thought that was pretty cool. 7 and 7 for me, thank you.
That was also the scene of the infamous banana in the pool at the Holiday Inn, and it was also the infamous scene of sliding down the snowy, muddy banks outside of the studio and getting mud all over our clothing.
So in 1976, it's Detroit, Michigan, and I was about to go in to pick my topic, and Mr. Buettler came up to me, and he looked at me and he says, "I have 2 words to say to you." And I'm like, okay, what's this going to be? I mean, I'm nervous as it is. And he looks at me and he says, "Burn them. Burn them. Burn them." And the impact on me was visceral. You know, the hair stood up on the back of my neck. I had a chill run down my spine, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, I'm winning this. And I walked into the round, picked my topic, and gave the speech of my life.